Please, please impress me. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episodes 6 and 7 of Tangled the series. And so you may be wondering, why are we doing 2 episodes today? Is it for the same reason that we did 2 episodes of Dr. Stone again? Kinda. with the fact with Dr. Stone is, I did 2 episodes of that again, and we're going to be doing 2 episodes for the final 2, because I want to kind of get the series over with in order to avoid possible burnout. And I feel like it was starting to get at that point where I was starting to feel burnout, because I had been going through the entire season 1 of Dr. Stone without taking any breaks, which is something I don't normally do much of anymore. If you notice on the channel, I usually take at least 1 break in shows that are that long. If it's like a 12, 13 episodes show, a single core show, then yeah, I can usually get through it pretty fine. If it's like 8 to 10 episodes, like a lot of streaming shows are nowadays, I can get through it fine, for the most part. But if it's like over 20-something episodes, then usually I like to take a break in there just to keep myself refreshed and keep myself from getting burnt out on the same stuff at all times. So, oh my. Excuse me. At least I knew it was coming. So, the difference here, though, is with Tangled, I'm not really doing this because I want to get through this in order to avoid burnout. I want to get through this in order to see if it gets better. Because if you've been watching my reactions, you'll have known that I'm not enjoying myself reacting to this. And it's not just because of this being episodic. I think I explained in one of the videos that there's plenty of episodic shows I really love. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Ghost of Milo McGee, so on and so forth. Shows that are mostly episodic, but continue to keep my attention. The issue here is the episodes that we're getting are boring, lacking in humor or interest in really any way, and or just not really that good in terms of the writing and everything. And the thing is, I have heard for so long that this series is considered one of the best, movie to show, not really adaptions, but, follow-ups that Disney has ever had. People praise this series to no end. And I'm not getting it yet. And I understand that, like, this season, I believe, is like 20-something episodes. And yeah, they're going to start off the series by having more episodic stuff in order to build up to things. You have to get to know the characters again. You have to get to see how they're interacting with new characters and interacting in this new location and everything. I get that. But you have to also make the episodes interesting. You have to make them good. And I'm sorry, it might just be my opinion, but almost none of these have been good. Like, basically, it just comes down to the special and episode 1. That's it. Episodes 2 through 4, which, mind you, is only 3 episodes. Or 2 through 5, sorry. Which is 4 episodes. Not a lot, but still, all of them have been bad, honestly. Like, one of them might have been better than the others, but they're not good. They're not entertaining. They're not fun to watch. And every week I come back with less and less motivation to continue. Again, I'm not saying that I want it to just rush into the story and just focus on, that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. But if you're going to have episodic, episodes, it needs to it needs to keep the attention. It needs to keep the interest. And yeah, I know that this is mostly marketed towards little kids, let's be honest. But the beauty of most Disney products, whether movies or shows, is that they can and do appeal to everyone. That's why these shows and movies are so great, because anyone can get into them. Adults can enjoy them too because of how well they're written and how interesting they are. This is not that, at least so far. The special in the first episode made it seem like it was going to be that, but I don't know. But the worst part is that I understand the argument that it's like, oh, I've only seen 4 episodes that I would consider bad. It's like I'm just not that far enough in. But I've also said before that in terms of this channel, I don't like reacting to things that I'm actively not enjoying just to hopefully get to better stuff in the future. Because it's happened with many shows where it's like I'm forcing myself to watch more and more, and it's not getting there. It never gets there. Even at the points where people say it gets better, it's like it doesn't for me. And there are exceptions. There are always exceptions to that, like Owl House and Amphibia, like really take a step up after a certain point. Hilda got a lot better for me after I gave it another chance. Funny enough, right after I dropped it too, like the episodes right after that ended up getting a lot better, funny enough. So it's like I don't want to just automatically go and say I'm going to drop this. I want to give it as much of a chance as possible. But the fact is, it's really hard to find the motivation. So I'm kind of laying down I'm kind of laying something down with this episode. I can't think of like the proper word to put there. Because that's just me. Um, I'm laying this down. With these 2 episodes, with this reaction, if the show impresses me, then no issue. If these episodes start to go into a much better direction, then no issue. If they don't, if I feel like this is just as bad, if not even worse than previous episodes, then depending on how much how bad they are, in my opinion, of course, I'm going to do one of 2 things. I'm either going to take a break from the series, or I'm going to drop it, depending on how bad it is. If it's bad but kind of on the same level as it has been, to where it's just like it just really needs to get to the, good stuff already, then I might just drop it. But if it's like worse, like actively worse, to the point where it's like I just really hate these episodes, then I'm probably going to drop it. So that's what's going to happen. Either I continue and there's no problem, I put it on hold for now and we move on to something else, or I drop it. And honestly, unless these episodes really come out of nowhere and impress me, I have a feeling it's going to be one of the latter 2 options. Because it's like I would normally say that a series with this amount of episodes would start to focus more on the story and start to improve around the halfway mark. That's usually the kind of go-to thought on that, which would be more around episode 10 to 12, in that range. But I've seen shows start to improve earlier than that. I've seen shows start to improve later than that. So it's just kind of up in the air. And I know we're only at 6 and 7 here, but it's like I again, don't want to force myself to sit through this if I'm not enjoying it. Because that just, it hurts the reactions for you guys, because I'm just going to be like, grumpy and upset the entire time. And it hurts the experience for me recording the reactions, which again only goes to hurt the experience more for you. So it's not good for anyone for me to continue reacting when I'm not enjoying the series. It doesn't help anyone. So I will let you know, of course. I'm not going to like drop it without telling you, but I think this is something I need to determine pretty much now. Now, if I do put it on hold, um, well, I'll talk more about it in the afterthoughts. But this is a poll series, um, so we might just do another poll. But I'm not sure right now. I'm gonna think about it as well while watching, and then I'm gonna think about it after I finish the reaction. And if I do end, well, either way, if I end up putting it on hold or dropping it, I have to figure something out with that. So I'll be thinking about it. I have a couple of ideas of how to do that and what to do in that regard, but we'll talk about that in the afterthoughts. So for now, we're just going to get on with the reaction, and we're going to hope to God that this ends up, being a lot better. But we'll see. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I'm mixed, because these episodes had some good ideas to them, but neither of them really, I feel, fully succeeded. There's like a hair like hanging down or something. Fully succeeded in really nailing their concepts. The first episode delves into Eugene's past and a friend slash ally he had from the past who he used to, have all these thefts and whatnot with. They would perform these jobs, and one of them was, it was very clear, was from the Queen. And then he comes back into play in the current day, kind of tricks Eugene into helping him with a job against the Baron, who they had worked with before. And yeah, it's during all of this, there's the entire thing with Cass and Rapunzel like arguing and debating over whether or not, Eugene and him can be trusted. And this continues with, let's just start with this. It continues with an issue that I've had with other episodes, and that is forcing in some of the characters where they don't belong. And this actually goes with both of these episodes today. We did not need Cass and Rapunzel arguing and debating and trying to figure out whether or not Eugene and, I can't remember his name right now, Lance. Eugene and Lance were, doing something bad or not. Or Eugene, was kind of going back into his old ways because Lance was a bad influence. We didn't need that entire B-plot. It was boring, uninteresting, and took away time from the A-plot that could have been used to make it better. Because the A-plot needed more time. That was the biggest issue with it. It needed more time to really delve into Eugene and Lance's history with each other. as well as it needed to focus on one thing or the other. Having the entire thing with the Baron in there, but never, having any closure with that, by the way. And then also having the part where one of the things that they steal back from the Baron was the Queen's ring, which, then there's the entire story about him trying to figure out what to do with that and ending up coming clean to the Queen and everything. It's like, okay, you had to pick or choose here. You can't have both the thing with the Baron and the Queen, because neither of them felt like they were given the time they needed to really feel properly delved into. Because the thing is, him and Lance go to steal this stuff from the Baron, and they escape without any consequences. They never have a confrontation with the Baron. Like, nothing ever comes of it. It's wasted potential. There's no closure to that entire part of the storyline at all. And it just goes into, like, getting the Queen's ring, and Lance pulls this entire thing with, give it to the girlfriend and everything, give it to Rapunzel, because that's what it's all about. That's what it means to them, because it's an entire lie, of course. And it's just like, it just starts to go into that, and then he eventually comes clean to Rapunzel, he comes clean to the Queen, and she chooses to just keep it a secret and let it go, because she understands how sorry he is. And it's like, neither of these sides of the story, either with the Baron or the Queen, really felt like they just were given enough time, and that's because the B plot took away from that. The completely unnecessary, unenjoyable B plot just took away from what could have been a really good episode. But it just it hindered itself by sticking to this entire idea of forcing in all three main characters into every episode. It hurt the overall episode and kept it from being genuinely really good. And in the end, having Lance just out of nowhere have this kind of apology and then donate a bunch of stolen treasure, which, by the way, means absolutely nothing, to this charity thing that Rapunzel had started. It's like, it means nothing. It doesn't imply that he turned a new leaf or anything. It doesn't imply that he's redeemed himself of all his terrible actions. No. He's donating stolen goods, which they know are stolen goods. Rapunzel even literally referred to it that way. To a charity that, can't accept that and isn't going to get anything from that. Those stolen goods are going to be returned. It's like, it doesn't help anyone. What was the point of it? That doesn't do anything. The episode really needed to completely drop that B plot and give more time into developing the backstory with Lance, the side of things with the Baron, and the side of things with the Queen, plus just changing that bad ending. It's just basically trying to force this redemption angle that just did not work at all with Lance at the end. Made no sense. They should have just had him, escape and remain a bad guy. That would have just made more sense. This redemption angle just doesn't work at all in any way, shape, or form. And so these issues really kept this episode from being that good for me. But there is so much potential that was in there. And the same goes for the second episode. You have the King and Eugene starting to bond a little more. The King has obviously been, the toughest nut to crack in that regard. He's just not so easily impressed, not so easily, pleased with things. And then you have Eugene, who, like, he's connected a little bit with Rapunzel's mom, but not so much with her dad. So this makes sense as a storyline. And I like the idea of them doing some kind of mission together in order to bond, and showing that the king does genuinely appreciate Eugene because of bringing his daughter back after 18 years and everything. I think that that kind of stuff is a great idea for an episode here, especially one of these, character building ones that is so important to the early parts of this series. But then they fucked it up by making it like this entire thing with the neighboring kingdom. That would be a fine idea, but turning it into a prank war is fucking stupid. It's not funny, it's not entertaining, it's dumb. This king, this neighbor, the king from this neighboring kingdom has his men come over here at night and prank a statue by painting the face and whatnot. It's like, that's dumb. It would have been better if, like, these ninjas working for the other king destroyed the statue, took off the head or something. That would be better. That would make more sense and give more of a reason for this episode to exist. But having it be a prank and having the king just be, annoyed by it enough to where he wants to pull a prank by kidnapping the other king's seal is stupid. And it was obvious, by the way, it was going to be an actual seal. Like, with how dumb and ridiculous and silly the episode was, it was very clearly going to be an actual animal. That was blatantly where I was going. But it's like, then you have this entire thing with the king, like, ignoring Eugene's advice and going on about, like, I'm this trained warrior. I train as king. I had to train in all of this. I know what I'm doing. And shows he has absolutely no fucking clue what he's doing. He is so inept at this sneaking into the castle thing. It's ridiculous. And I know it's done for humor, but it's not funny. It's just embarrassing, honestly, and it makes the king look less competent. It hurts his overall, like, views for the audience here. You can't take him seriously as the king of Corona when he's doing shit like that. It's just, I really did not like that. And again, like with the first of these two episodes, like with episode 6, this also had the issue of shoehorning in the other characters. The entire B plot with Rapunzel and Cassandra, with Cassandra basically trying to teach Rapunzel about what a prank is and how a prank goes, and Rapunzel just, being too nice to understand how to prank someone. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. It's just a waste of time that takes away from what could be otherwise great stuff. Though, I mean, honestly, it probably wouldn't have been because of the stupid prank idea that this episode ran with. Again, the concept of Eugene and the king having an episode to, bond together and showcase that there is something there in terms of their relationship to each other is a great concept. It's such a good idea and would have worked amazingly for an episode to really build these characters and their relationships. But they took it in such a terrible direction that it's just so bad. I'm sorry. It's bad. And it's really disappointing because both of these episodes had so much potential, had so much possibility. And it seems like instead of like going the most logical, like believable and enjoyable route, both of them instead decided to try and make it more kid friendly, for lack of a better word. Both episodes were taking a route that like focused more on the childlike nature of its intended audience rather than telling an actual good story, which, by the way, kids are not opposed to. People think like you have to keep a show like super immature and like lacking in story and quality to appeal to kids, and no, you don't. Kids will understand and enjoy shows with great stories and a lot of depth and character. And it allows the parents to enjoy watching it with their kids as well. You do not need to dumb things down for kids. I hate that. And it feels like that's what these episodes did, especially the second one here. It was not good. It was not good. So, where does that leave us at the end here? Like I said in the pre-thoughts, how I felt about these episodes would determine how I was going to go about with them in the future. Whether I would just continue as normal, whether I would put it on hold or drop it. Because this series has not been impressing me. And like I said when I started these afterthoughts, I'm mixed here because the potential of these episodes was so great, but the execution was so bad. And so it's like, what do I do here? Because this is not something I'm continuing at this moment. It's either going to be put on hold or dropped. That's very clear at this point. Do I truly believe that there is value in continuing to give it more of a chance in the future? And should I just put it on hold for now? Or is it something that I don't think is going to be worth it? And after these 2 episodes, I think I'm going to trust in the potential. I don't know if this is a smart idea, but I think I'm going to trust in the potential, and I'm going to give it one more chance in the future. But it is going to be put on hold for now. And so what this means is that we're going to take a break from the series because I can't do more of this right now. It's bothering me too much, and it's just, like I said, I'm finding little to no motivation in continuing it. If I were to continue right now, if I were to just continue reacting each week at the moment, I would absolutely drop it. Like within another episode or 2. So by taking this break, it's going to allow me to come back to it with a fresh and open mind and give it another chance. But for now, I do think I need to take a break on it because if I don't, it will be dropped. So, what we're going to do, that means, is that we're going to have another poll. And right now, we're going to stick with the donation reward polls. As you know, this one was a donation reward for Venom, but we chose it via a poll against 2 other donation rewards. Instead of just doing the normal polls where it's just like my choice kind of stuff. I thought it was a fun idea to get another donation reward on the channel going at this time, as well as, having more of an opportunity to do something different with the channel. Because if you've been watching the channel for a notable length of time, I like to switch things up to keep things fresh on the channel. I don't like it just stagnating. It makes it feel like I don't want to do it anymore if it stays stagnant for too long. So we're going to continue this. So let me bring up my my Word document here, just to go through what we're going to do for the next one. So, like I said, we're going to do a donation reward poll. So all the choices on the poll will be a donation reward. The poll will be put up right away today. It will be on the community section, the community tab of the channel. You can go there right away and vote on it, and please do. And I'll make another video about this as well. But yeah. We're probably not going to continue to do nothing but these in the future. We'll go back to regular poll series as well, but for right now, I want to do another donation reward poll. So, let's go over our 3 options. 2 options are going to be there from last time, just like as we do with regular polls. And there's going to be a new option placed in as well. So please vote on whichever one you would want to see me react to the most first. And we'll get to that. And keep in mind, any of the options on this poll could end up being reacted to as well, just by natural selection as I open up more slots with the regular poll shows too. So keep in mind that maybe something else will end up being taken off of this poll list anyway, just because of I end up bringing it onto the channel earlier than it would be chosen. You know what I mean? Okay, so let me go through here. Let me make sure I got all of this set before I read this out. Because I want to make sure all is good in that regard. And so, yeah, I think we're good. So, once again, we have 3 options on this poll. And they are as follows. The first option is the Baymax series. This is a donation reward for Isabella. And yeah, it's a spin-off sequel sort of series to Big Hero 6. And I've heard good things about it. I've heard a lot of people really like it, and hopefully it's more appealing to me than Tangled, the series, has been so far. But the second option, a donation reward for Venom, is Spawn, the series. This was one of the ones we did the first episode of for the Donation Reward Appreciation Week. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Keith David's obviously amazing in the role. It's very dark, very intense, and it's not very long. It's a shorter series too, to keep in mind. Compared to others, it's like just a single set of episodes. It's not seasonal. Let's say it that way. But our third option is from Calypso and is Princess Principal. This is another one we did the first episode of, and I really surprisingly enjoyed it. It didn't seem like it might have been my thing right off the bat, but it did impress me. And this one centers more around like kind of spy work, basically. So you have a superhero series, you have a dark anti-hero series. It is basically a comic book, not even basically, it is a comic book series as well. And then you have a spy thriller anime. So those are the choices. Once again, the poll will be up when you see this. It'll already be up on the community tab, and there will be another video to go through it as well. But we will come back to Tangled, the series, in the future to give it another chance. I don't know exactly when as of yet, but we will give it another chance in the future, and hopefully it does eventually start to impress me. But I would like to hear your thoughts on these 2 episodes of Tangled, the series. Oh, and also, the poll is going to run through this weekend. I'm going to make an announcement video for the winner probably on Monday. But next week is still the spring break. So the first episode of this will not come out until after the spring break is over. So it's going to be like 2 weeks from today. So I apologize for that. The first episode of whatever replaces this, whichever of the three. But yeah. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Like I said, let me know your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.